huwag mo akong salingin.
Noong tinahak ng binata ang daan patungo sa kaniyang mga pangarap, walang sinayang na oras at pagkakataon para tuklasin ang kayamanan ng bayan. Walang iba kundi ang karunungan.
Mauuna na po ako, Ama.
Mag-iingat ka, anak. Mag-aaral kang mabuti doon at parati mong tatandaan na edukasyon ko ang tanging kayamanan na may papamahal ko sa iyo.
Sa pananaw ng General, nararapat lamang ang pagkakatanggal mo, Padre Damaso. Alalahanin mo na ipinahukay mo ang bangkay ng isang marangal na lalaki dahil lamang sa hindi pangungkusan nito.
Yung pagkwentang rason upang tanggalin ako bilang pangoko ng simbahan. Maligayang pagbabalik, Crisostomo.
Pagpapunan ninyo sa aking amahan, mabarang sa aking kinala tungkol sa kanyang pagpanaw. Ngunit, humibali na lang. Ako nga po pala si Juan Crisosmo, Ibarra ni Masal.
Ikaw ang epitomiya ng kagandahan at kabutihan. Hindi ko na kinakailangang umanap pa ng iba. Binibini, Maria Clara.
Ang kasiyahan at pagdiriwang ay agad na mapapalitan ng inis, kalungkutan at kaguluhan.
Isang paaralan para sa mga ignoranteng tao rito. Iyan ay isang gusali na aking pinangarap din bago ako itinuring na isang baliw. Ito'y magtatagumpay sa iyong hangarin kung sa mga puro kahihingi ng tulong.
Ito ba na maaari mong imungkahi sa akin?
Kung pinagkaiba sa iyong ama na mamamatay tao, walang utang na loob, ingrato!
Crisostomo!
Ang lahat ng simula ay may katapusan. Ngunit ang wakas ay hindi ang hangganan, sapagkat ito'y isang bagong pagmula pa lamang. Kahit gaano ka kaingat magtago ng isang lihim, wala pa ring lihim ang hindi nabubunyag.
Ano ang ginawa mo sa aking ama?
Ako ka na lamang sa sinasabi mo.
Hindi ikaw.
Sino ang gumawa nito?
Wala akong makasalanan. Si Padre Damaso sa aking pinagaling lamang.
Papatayin nila ako! Huwag mo akong mabayaan! Basilio!
Palabasin niyo ako!
Oh, Diyos ko, iligtas mo ang aking mga anak. Miss Pin? Basilio?
Ayaw ko nang makita ni Maria Clara ang ikratong si Crisostomo iba. Nais kong may kasal ka, Maria Clara, kay Inaris.
Maraming nadamay, nagbago, naghirap at nagsumamo. May mga tumakas sa katotohanan upang makaranas ng kaligayahan. Tinahak ang bawat parte ng buhay upang makaligtas.
Pabayaan na ninyo yan sa pamahalaan. Magsimba na lamang kayo.
Hindi mali ang paglaban. May mali kaya lumalaban.
Makinig, manood, nasa teleradyo. Makinig, manood, nasa teleradyo. Teleradyo, teleradyo Marcelo. Sa gitna ng mapanubok na panahon, magkahatid sagad.
This is Teleradyo Marcelo Junior High School Science Department. Join us in this amazing morning for another hour of learning in Grade 7 Science. Hello! Hello and welcome, learners. You are listening to Teleradyo Marcelo, ang telearalan ng bawat malulenyo. Brought to you by Marcelo H. Del Pilar National High School. I am Teacher Tony Rose Torres, your Sci educator for today. Last week, you have learned about the different energy and natural resources, its conservation and preservation. To refresh your understanding of the previous lesson, let us do a quick review to check if you still remember. Comment your answer in our chat box. Don't forget to include your section and the name of your science teacher for bonus points on your performance grade. Your comments are welcome. I will need your active participation, my dear Del Pilarians, in this on-air recitation. Have your pens and paper ready too. Let's start. Classify the following pictures as renewable and non-renewable resources. Write your answer in your science notebook. Number 1, wind. Number 2, wood. Number 3, oil. Number 4, coal. Number 5, water. Number 6, solar energy. Number 7, mineral. And number 8, natural gas. Okay, here are alright. The correct answer are renewable resources are water, wind, solar energy, and wood. While non-renewable resources includes mineral, oil, natural gas, and coal. Thank you, Del Pilarians, for participating in our recitation on air. Did you get all the correct answer? That's amazing. It's a good thing you still remember our lesson last week. And today, we are going to learn more. But before that, let's play a game that I know you are very much familiar with. And that is 4 picks, 1 word. Comment your answer in our chat box. Ready? Can you guess the first word? Very good. The first word is atmosphere. How about the second word? What is the answer? The second word is temperature. Very good, Del Pilarians. How about the third word? What is the answer? The third word is height. Very good. Those words are related to our topic for today, which is all about the layers of the Earth's atmosphere. After going through this module, you are expected to discuss how energy from the sun interacts with the layers of the atmosphere. At the end of the broadcast, you should be able to describe the features and boundaries of the different layers of the atmosphere, trace how energy from the sun interacts with the layer of the atmosphere, recognize the importance of atmosphere for the existence of life on Earth, and lastly, describe how energy from the sun creates a greenhouse effect. Earth is the only planet in the solar system with an atmosphere that can sustain life. The pull of the Earth's gravity keeps the sea of air close to Earth. There are changes on the Earth's atmosphere. Some evolved into what it is today. But what is the Earth's atmosphere made of? What are the reasons behind these changes? Earth's atmosphere is made up of a mixture of gases called air. What information we can get from this table? First, Earth's relatively thin atmosphere primarily consists of a mixture of nitrogen and oxygen. The remaining 1% contains several inactive gases and other gases that varies in concentration. Second, there is very little oxygen high up in the atmosphere. Take note, this is the reason why hikers experience difficulty in breathing when they climb high mountains. Third, the composition of air is not uniform throughout the atmosphere. Fourth, although water vapor and carbon dioxide make up a small amount of gases in the Earth's atmosphere, they are very important because of their ability to absorb heat. These gases not only produce important weather features such as cloud and rain, but also have considerable influence on the overall climate of the Earth through the greenhouse effect and global warming. Therefore, the sea of air of our atmosphere is important to us. Without the atmosphere, life cannot exist, for it contains oxygen, the life-sustaining gas from the air. Plants get carbon dioxide needed in order to live. It protects us from the intense radiation by day and too much loss of heat by night. It protects the Earth from the radiation and meteoroids. It serves as a thermal blanket that warms the planet by day and cools it by night. Earth's atmosphere has a series of layers, each with its own specific trait. Moving upward from ground level, these layers are named the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere that gradually fades away into the realms of interplanetary space. The atmosphere's division of layer depends on how temperature changes. Let us learn more about the characteristic of each layer. The layer closest to the Earth's atmosphere where we live and most weather phenomena occur is the troposphere. It comes from the word tropos, meaning change. This is because the air here is not still and continuously circulating. Aircraft flying in this layer experience turbulence. With an average height of 7 to 10 kilometers, air temperature here decreases as the altitude increases. Generally, the warmest near the Earth's surface and coolest at its highest point. It is composed mostly of water vapor, most clouds, air balloons, helicopters, planes appear here. Tropopause is the boundary between troposphere and the next layer, which is the stratosphere. Stratosphere, it came from the word stratos, meaning layer. This is because of the set of layers within it. It extends from the troposphere upward to approximately 50 kilometers above Earth's surface. It is where the protective ozone layer is found. It absorbs harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun. Thus, temperature rises with increasing altitude, and air temperature is also highest in this region. The only layer where jets can travel because of the weatherless part of the atmosphere. Air movement is very uniform in this layer, meaning it is stable and calm. Stratopause is the boundary between stratosphere and the next layer, and that is the mesosphere. Mesosphere comes from the word meso, meaning middle. This is because it is found at the center of the five layer. Approximately 90 kilometers from the Earth's surface, temperature begin to decrease again. This is because little solar radiation is absorbed in this layer, making this layer the coldest region of the atmosphere. Oxygen level is few and air is very thin. This layer protects the Earth by burning up meteors while entering the atmosphere. Mesopause is the boundary between mesosphere and the next layer, which is the thermosphere. Thermosphere comes from the word thermo, which means heat. This layer is directly exposed to the sun's radiation and is considered as the hottest layer. It extends approximately 700 kilometers from the Earth's surface. Temperature begins to increase again, which is caused by the absorption of energetic ultraviolet and X-ray radiation from the sun. Many satellites and space shuttles fly in this area. Aurora borealis, or the display of colored lights shimmering across the night sky, is found. Thermopause is the boundary between the thermosphere and the last layer, which is the exosphere. Exosphere comes from the word exo, which means outer. It represents the outermost layer of the Earth's atmosphere. It extends from 10,000 kilometers from the Earth's surface. Temperature here increases as the altitude increases due to high bombardment of cosmic rays. This is where higher altitude satellites orbits our planet. The diagram shows the relationship between the change of temperature in each layer with respect to height. In the troposphere, the temperature decreases as the altitude or the height of the atmosphere increases. In the stratosphere, at height around 10 to 20 kilometers, the temperature is almost the same. Above 20 to 50 kilometers, the temperature increases. In the mesosphere, the temperature decreases as height increases. In the thermosphere, up to exosphere, temperature increases gradually with height. Thus, gradual increase in temperature with altitude continues. For you to be able to remember the arrangement of layers of the atmosphere easily, remember this simple sentence. The smart man takes an elevator. Do you have any questions? Now, it's time for a quick question and answer. I will flash some questions. All you have to do is to choose the letter of the best answer. Are you ready? Don't forget to comment your answer. Number 1. It is the blanket of air that protects the Earth from ultraviolet radiation and meteors. Is it A, atmosphere, B, clouds, C, water vapor, or D, wind? The answer is, you are correct. Letter A, atmosphere. How about number 2? How are the layers of the atmosphere separated? By its A, altitude, B, temperature, C, elevation, or D, distance from the sun? And the answer is very good. Letter B, temperature. Number 3. Which is the hottest layer? A, troposphere, B, exosphere, C, mesosphere, or D, thermosphere? Very good. Letter D, thermosphere. Number 4. Aircraft flying in this area have a bumpy ride or turbulence. A, troposphere, B, exosphere, C, mesosphere, or D, stratosphere? And the answer is correct. Letter A, troposphere. And the last number, it is the layer of the atmosphere where ozone is found. Is it A, troposphere, B, exosphere, C, mesosphere, or D, stratosphere? Great. The answer is letter D, stratosphere. Did you get all the questions right? Good job, Del Pilarians. Let's pause for a break, and when we come back, we will continue our amazing learning. Good news, Del Pilarian. Our online registration for the special program for Science, Technology and Engineering, or SPSTE, is extended until May 31, 2021. Schedule of online registration or on-site registration is from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Schedule of interview, June 19, 2021 to July 15, 2021. Incoming grade 7 student must have an average grade of at least 85 or higher in math, English, and science, and an average grade of 83 in all other subjects. Aspiring applicants should also have no grades lower than 80 in any quarter and must have a general average of 85 and above, based on the computed grades from first to third grading periods. For more information, please contact our focal person, Ms. Marisa Flores and Ms. Jaylene Santos, through their numbers flash on the screen. All right, we are back. You're still listening and tuned in to Teleradyo Marcelo, ang telearalan ng bawat Malulenyo. Keep listening. We're almost at the end of the broadcast. The last part of our learning session is about how global temperature or the energy from the sun is maintained by the process of the greenhouse effect. Greenhouse gases are responsible for the greenhouse effect. This is a natural process that keeps the Earth's climate warm enough to support life. It is named greenhouse because of the effect that keeps greenhouse gases warm. Greenhouse is a structure with walls and roof made of transparent materials like glass or fiber. Greenhouse and atmosphere are the same concept. The Earth atmosphere is compared to a greenhouse, which allows sunlight to enter but prevents heat from escaping. So based on the diagram, the sun's heat enters the atmosphere as solar radiation. About half of the heat is reflected or absorbed by clouds and the atmosphere. The rest reaches the earth where absorbed by oceans and land. The air also releases heat called infrared radiation back towards the space. Some of this heat escaped directly back into space, but most of it captured and retained by greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Therefore, this results in the warming of the Earth's surface, keeping the Earth's temperature suitable for life on Earth. Thus, this process is called greenhouse effect, and the trace gases are referred to as greenhouse gases. When people burn more and more organic matter, the amount of carbon dioxide in the air increases dramatically. It adds to the fact that there are other greenhouse gases aside from carbon dioxide and water vapor. These include methane, nitrogen oxide, and CFC. The result may be an unusual increase in temperature, and this is known as the enhanced greenhouse effect. Enhanced greenhouse effect can contribute too much to global warming, and prolong will bring about climate change. The world is now experiencing various consequences of global warming and climate change, such as rising of sea level, floods, droughts, heat waves, and wildfires. To summarize our lesson for this day, the atmosphere serves as an insulator, supplier of important gases, protector, and medium of transfer of water and radiant energy. The most abundant gases in the Earth's atmosphere are nitrogen and oxygen. The remaining 1% is a mixture of other trace gases. The Earth's atmosphere has 5 different layers: the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. The atmosphere's division of layer depend on how temperature changes with height. Global atmospheric phenomena like greenhouse effect and global warming, it includes ocean depletion, affects people, plant, animal, and the physical environment around the world. Human activities have contributed greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Increasing their quantities have negative effects on all organisms and the physical environment. Almost all the energy available at the Earth's surface comes from the sun. And you are still listening and tune in to Teleradyo Marcelo, ang telearalan ng bawat malulenyo. Still, this is your Educator, Ma'am Tony Rose Torres. Keep listening. We are almost at the end of the broadcast. Don't forget to follow and like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Teleradyo Marcelo, ang telearalan ng bawat malulenyo. At this point, we will do a knowledge check if you really learned something from what we have discussed today. Have your paper and pens ready and number it from 1 to 5. All you need to do is to name the phenomena that will be shown in each slide. Fill in the missing letter in the box and write your answer in your science notebook. I will give you 10 seconds for each number. Are you ready? Let's start. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Next number. And the last one. All right. Are you all ready to check your answer? Let's see if we got the right answer. Number 1, the correct answer is drought. Number 2, very good, flood. Number 3, wildfire. Number 4, the answer is melting of ice. And lastly, number 5, the correct answer is global warming. Did you get it all correct? From your scores, I know that you learned something from today's discussion. After this learning session, do not forget to answer your learning activity sheets. Activity number 5, entitled Dividing Earth's Atmosphere into Layers. Activity number 6, entitled 3D Model of the Earth's Atmosphere. Just recall what you have learned today and you will definitely get high score. Performance task number 2 is also included in your activity number 6. Great job, Del Pilarians. For your assignment next week, answer the following question. Describe the following common weather phenomena. A, sea breeze. B, land breeze. C, monsoon. And D, intertropical convergence zone. Thank you, Del Pilarians, for your active participation. Shout out to my grade 7 classes, my advisory class 723 TR Torres, 710 JC Paronda, 711 City de Vera, 712 EP de la Cruz, and 714 MP Fajardo. And to my science family, my grade 7 team, thank you for tuning in. Thank you also to my grade 7 production team, Ma'am Dorothy Fernando, my editor. Thank you also to my very understanding and supportive OIC and now our head teacher, Ma'am Mirna L. de la Cruz. To my proactive principal, Dr. Maria Victoria C. Vivo. A million thanks to Teleradio team, Ma'am Hilda Magahis, Sir Frederick John A. Macale, Sir Paulo F. de Guzman, and Ma'am Joyce Ann S. Godoy. This is all the time that we have for now. I hope you had an amazing time learning with me today. Let me end today's lesson with this beautiful quote. It's nice to come into an atmosphere that's uplifting and good, by Steve Trotter. Work on those modules and remember, it doesn't matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. Always think positive and share the good vibes always. Thank you for tuning in and see you again next week. I'm your teacher broadcaster, Ma'am Tony Rose Torres, now signing off.
Radyo is always at your service. Kaya naman, ang feedback mo, suggestions nyo ay mahalaga sa amin to improve our programs on air and online. Para alam ni teacher yung strengths as well as the things in your mind na mas makatutulong sa mas effective na pagkatuto sa teleradyo. This take time to send your feedbacks via Teleradyo Mu, which you can access by scanning the QR code on the right or typing the URL provided here, bit.ly/3ORVAY9. One more, this time you follow bit.ly/3ORVAY9. Kaya send your hashtag TBH o hashtag RT dito sa Teleradyo Mu, kung saan ang feedback mo, suggestions nyo ay mahalaga sa Teleradyo.
Makinig, manood, nasa teleradyo. Makinig, manood, nasa teleradyo. Teleradyo, Teleradyo Marcelo. Sa gitna ng mapanubok na panahon, magkahatid sa kaakibat ay diskusyon. Sama-sama tayo, kahit magkalayo. Sa programang ito, tiyak ang pagkatuto. Teleradyo, Teleradyo Marcelo. Teleradyo, Teleradyo Marcelo. Teleradyo, Teleradyo Marcelo.